Hi everyone. I'm Apache. I'm going to be running Metal Gear Solid 3 on European Extreme New Game Plus. It's my fourth time at the event, so it's pretty cool. I'm with Charlotte.
Hello.
I'll give you a shout for the timer in a sec. As soon as that text fades.
After the end of World War II, the world was split into two, East and West. This marked the beginning of the era called the Cold War.
No. So yeah, European Extreme, hardest difficulty. Different from Metal Gear Solid 2 because it has the added bonus of it being game over if discovered. So if any of the guards see me at any time, I'll get a continue and have to start the room again, which is like an added layer of fun. It's forced in Metal Gear Solid 3, whereas in 2 you have the option. And I think if I had the option, I would choose for it not to be game over if discovered. But, you know, it just makes you play better. And I'm playing on the PS3 version. Previously at the event, I've done the Xbox One version, which looks better. But PS3, you get the DualShock 3, so it controls better. Just starting out, I'm going to be making my way to a rocket scientist called Sokolov, and I've got to go pick him up because he wants to defect to the United States. I'm not going to get into the story too much because it's complicated. I'll try and do as little story as possible. If you want the story, check the games out. It's too much to summarize in a speedrun. Also with European Extreme, you only get the one silencer, you have a lot less bullets, ammo pickups give you less, stamina drains faster, bosses do more damage, just everything is harder. Got to walk in a specific pattern here to avoid the crocodiles. Even the crocodiles one-shot you if they knock you into the mud.
Yeah, Apache might be making this look really easy, but actually I've tried to play this game on easy and I've struggled. It's a really hard game.
I think MGS3 is definitely one of the harder games because it's got so much additional stuff like the stamina, having to find food, things like that. So there I'm going to use a technique called the quick headshot. If you get on the same level as a guard and then stand on your tiptoes, you'll automatically hit his head when you fire. And then that's a technique where if you shoot a tranquilizer onto any guard and then knock him over, he'll instantly go to sleep. And this is a bump roll. So the hitbox for a roll is really big in Metal Gear Solid 3. So it's kind of like in the Smash game where it's got huge hitbox as well. So we'll just make use of that as much as possible. Otherwise we're there either having to aim for the head like this, or we are shooting just hundreds of tranquilizer darts into the guard to make him go to sleep. Here I'm going to distract the guard with a shot, and he'll go behind this tree and radio, and then we can just sneak past him. He's not going to look for Snake while he's on the radio, but if I walk directly into his pathway, he will see me. So that's why we shoot the shot first to make him run behind that tree. And you have to roll there, otherwise he'll see you as he's making the way to the tree. Now, Rasvet the first time is like a deceptively hard area, just because of the guard positions. So I'm going to do a quick headshot there, and I have to make my way onto this hill quite quickly. I think I might get seen here. Yeah. So that was unfortunate. I moved in a way that wasn't correct. So you're constantly walking a tightrope with European Extreme because if you come off the line, is the best way to describe it. If you come off the line at any point, you'll get spotted. So I have to be careful with my movement as much as possible. But yeah, we've got to continue out the way as early as possible. Hopefully no more, right? As long as we get that guard down and then go behind the wall, he doesn't see us, so we don't go into a game over. If we can go into caution, and that's fine. And caution will still let us progress the story, but there's no evasion. If we get an alert, we get a continue. But yeah, Rasvet's it's just a deceptively hard area. If you come off the line at any point, you're going to get spotted. And you have to do all your actions really quickly. Like you have to take out that first guard as fast as possible. There is safer ways to do it. You can just carefully trank each guard, do like the Joe method, but it's much slower. It's better to just find. It's better to just do it as fast as possible, essentially. So that was the Virtuous mission. Here we're going to get thrown off a bridge, so we're going to get seriously injured and have to heal Snake.
You keep ration intake to a minimum at this type of run, though, right?
Yeah, so in this game there's life meds, which work similar to rations, but there's a lot less of them. So they're sort of hidden throughout the game. A lot of them are really out the way. So you can't just kind of tank rations. Not to mention that you don't really get into battles with guards because you just get a game over if you get seen, right? So you only really take damage from the bosses and then during the bike chase at the end. So there is 2 life med pickups on the route, and then I'll use them if I need to, but that's much later into the game. It's like kind of like health isn't an issue. It's more about the stealth aspect. So that was the Virtuous mission, and then I get to do the whole area, but again at night. And this next room is insanely tricky. Oh, not because of that tree, that was just me, but. We roll over hills because if we walk up them, Snake will stutter. So rolling gets rid of that, and then later we'll get the box, which will get rid of that entirely. So this room is really, really hard. I have to roll very specifically, which one guard will see you roll, and the other guard will see the guard see you roll, and that will distract them enough to stop them from catching you, but it's really precise. I think I got it. I won't know until here. And then holding a stun grenade silences your footsteps, so I can sneak behind this guard here. So that only works on certain terrain, but fortunately on all the terrain we need it to work on, it does work. So it's really just one of those things that's really lucky. And then it doesn't get any easier with this room. There's like a backup method for this room that's really slow, but essentially I have to roll behind this guard and then behind the tree. So I think I got it, and then I wait for a second, and I can get past it. Like, it doesn't look like it's that hard, but that is a very tricky little room. I am charging my controller, so hopefully it doesn't die. I do have a wire in it. And then we're coming up to the first boss, which is the Ocelot Unit. In my opinion, the hardest boss in the game, because it's 10 guards, which you have to take out, and if any of them see you, obviously you get a game over and have to start the run, have to start the boss again. It's really tricky, and we're just essentially manipulating the AI the whole time to put them into the correct position we want them in. So I am going to show up for this section, and yeah, I mean it's obvious to look at that it's difficult. Like it's a very, very tricky boss, and really is a gatekeeper for the difficulty because it's so early in the run, and it's really challenging.
Can I interrupt you just a wee second?
Yeah, sure.
We are having a few small technical difficulties here. Is it possible, can you, when you reach a suitable point, can you pause for us?
Yeah, sure.
Because what we're going to have to do, folks, is we're going to have to restart the stream just now, okay?
Yeah.
Because we understand we do have technical difficulties, and we're going to get those resolved for you ASAP. So if you could give us a wee pause, that's perfect. And we're going to restart the stream just now, and we'll be back to you as soon as we can. Do apologise. Bear with us. We'll be back very shortly.
You need to either restart the computer or the stream, I think. Something.
You're quite alright. Don't worry about me. Am I still on, or have you restarted? I don't want to say anything controversial like Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty is the best game ever on stream.
Welcome back again, folks. I think that should be us back up and running now. So what we'll do is we'll give you a countdown, just a few seconds to count back in, Apache, okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so we'll come back in 3, 2, 1, go!
So here I've got to set up my menu much for the rest of the game. It's the easiest spot to do it in because I have to get this tranquilizer here. You really don't want that to happen because he runs off. He's like just behind there. He will go down in a second. There we go. So yeah, that's sort of how the Ocelot unit should look. It's really tricky just because if you at any point miss a shot like that, especially on the earlier guards, it's just all over. And definitely, you know, casually, even people who, you know, try and attempt to pick up the speed run really struggle with that area. It is definitely one of the hardest bosses in the game. But we're past it. Feels good.
So I was watching another run and they picked up the bug juice at this point, but I noticed you've skipped picking up the bug juice.
Yeah, I'm going to burn it off with a cigar because some people like to menu the box after the Ocelot unit, and then they pick up the bug juice and menu the box at the same time. That stops the leech from attaching to you. I just burn it off with a cigar. Who's to say which is faster? It's probably about the same. But sometimes when you burn the leech off with the cigar, you get a cool cutscene of Snake burning it off, and I'm hoping that'll happen. I'm going to pick up these grenades here. I'm not going to use them, hopefully. I might need to kill myself later with them, so I have to pick them up like for safety.
As you do.
I've got no cutscene. So during the end fight, if you kind of mess up the loop, you have to kill yourself, and there's nothing nearby to kill yourself with, so I like to pick up those for safety. So yeah, just take the leech off with the scar after. You lose a tiny bit of stamina, but it doesn't matter too much. Once your stamina drops below half, your aim will sway. But we use the animals camo that you get from a non-lethal victory against Ocelot, which prevents that swaying. And I put that on in the run at exactly the same time as your stamina drops to half. It's just like the route just works out like that. Hopefully don't hit the claymore. So I'm going to shoot my gun to distract. The dog's going to bark because I shot, which is going to distract a guard that's way off in the distance. And it's just like one of those AI manipulations that you do. It's really common within this run. You're just manipulating the AI. Here I'm going to do it again. I'm going to use the box to lure 2 guards, hopefully. There we go. And that'll allow me to just get past here. Ugh. You can't hit that. If you hit that electric fence, it's really bad times. Hopefully this dog doesn't see me. It's not very clever. So we're coming up to the second boss. We fought the Ocelot unit, and now we're going to fight actual Ocelot. And what I'm going to use for this boss is like an infinite loop, basically, which is developed using the grenade camo, which is only in New Game Plus. So I'm going to put that guard to sleep there permanently.
Wow.
And then there's 2 guards who can kind of see you, but your camo index is slightly too high to get spotted. This face paint gives you unlimited oxygen, and this camo gives you unlimited grenades. It's not that useful, really. It just means you don't have to pick up grenades at certain places in the run. Putting the camo on probably uses as much time as picking up the grenades anyway, so it works out about the same. Nah, I've lost it. Shot. We might die here, but he's going to go into his... There we go. That was lucky. Once you lose the loop, you kind of just like... If you lose that infinite loop, you kind of just on borrowed time because, you know, I think it's 6 shots for him to kill you, and you're just sort of relying on killing him faster than he can kill you at that point. In a run, I'll normally just... If I'm going for PB attempt, I'll normally just reset the fight immediately as soon as I lose it. I think I was a little bit quick with the shot at the start, and that's why I lost the infinite loop. If you can't see anything on stream, I'm sorry. The cave's super dark. We could barely see it on the screen here as well, right? Like, it just I kind of know where I'm going. If you guys want to go for anything, this would be a great time.
Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. Okay, we do have a few donations here. They've been coming in, so thank you very much for your generosity. Okay, we have $20 from Zephyr, who says, good luck with the event. Put this money towards runner's choice. Have you any idea what that might be, or we'll look into that later for you?
Yeah, I'll as soon as I finish, I'll go for. It'll be something cruel though.
Cool, we'll look at that later on for you. We've also received another $35 from a Gilgamesh, who says, "Get a load of this. When I saw you guys were doing a speed run of one of my favourite games, I had to donate. I can't wait to see how you guys break the game with some crazy glitches." Well, thank you very much indeed for that generous donation.
So this is the pain. I'm going to use the lethal Patriot to kill him here. Essentially, I just have to react to what he does. Like, sometimes he'll get the B shield when he gets up, sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes he'll shoot a grenade at me. You just have to react to what he does, and you're just knocking him down every single time. Fortunately, the stun grenade will just land on his platform as long as you wait for a snake to lift his arm. So that's phase 1. Going into phase 2, he starts with the shield on, and you have to immediately equip the grenade and throw it. Otherwise, he can roll and stuff, and that'll mean he gets invincibility frames, and his B shield won't come off. Also, the bullet beams that he fires at us, if you're in first-person view, for some reason, they just won't hit you. It's like a glitch that's HD collection only. But it's really looking at it as this. So it looks a lot easier than it is, but you have to react to what he's doing every time he stands up, because he can kill you with 3 out of 5 of his attacks will just kill you instantly. And I lost quite a lot of health during Ocelot as well, so even the other 2 probably would have killed me. If you want to go, if you've got anything else, it's a good time as well.
We do indeed, yes. Thank you very much. Okay, we have received, I like this one, $100 from the Mibulus.
Oh, wow, let's go, Mib.
Thank you very much. And he says, since I'm 13 hours ahead here in New Zealand, surely that means that I've seen 13 hours of marathon so far. And what a marathon it has been so far. Best of luck to all the runners, and I'm so proud of everything UKSG has done so far, and even prouder to have been a part of it, even if I can't make it there this time. Let's make this the best UKSG yet. Well, thank you very much, Mibs. You are missed. Thank you for your very generous donation.
So the brown face paint that I equipped before will give me unlimited oxygen. That's a HD collection exclusive. It's not just a New Game Plus exclusive. But it's only good for this one swimming section here. Because, you know, normally you'd have to come up for air, right? I still have to avoid the guard spotlights, because if I get seen at all, then I'll get put back to the start of the lake. Not ideal at all, because it's really quite a long section. There is a bit at the end where it's kind of risky. And sometimes they'll like do this kind of glitch out and radio for backup, even though they can't have a backup unit in this area. So the game's not sure what to do. It hasn't caught you, but it can't go into caution here. In this next area, I have to damage the end. We're not going to kill him early, because it's much slower to go and get the SVD to shoot him, and also it would give you an Ocelot unit in that area, which is really difficult to get past. Plus, we want Ismos in the Gaunt from a non-lethal victory. So we'll just put all these guards to sleep carefully. I know normally runners say with, like, when you're going for non-lethal strats, they're like, oh, if I shoot the barrels, it doesn't kill them. Well, I'm going to say, if I shoot them with a Patriot, it doesn't kill them. It doesn't count. I'm not the bullets, I just fired them. The warehouse, I feel is fair to say, is one of the hardest rooms in the run. We're just going to manipulate there's like the ground floor and then 2 floors, and we're going to manipulate the AI on each floor with the guard on the floor below by rolling into them. So I need to roll into this guard and then get onto the stairs as well. Hopefully that worked. And then the same again, I have to get on the stairs. This looks like it's worked, hopefully. It's probably around here somewhere, and I've just like speared 3 guards. But when you roll into the guard on the floor below, it's making them face a certain way, so they wouldn't normally be facing that way. Fortunately, using the grenade camo as well, because all this section of the game is at night, it is actually good enough camo to get by on. quick headshot doesn't work on that first guard there, and fortunately you can hit the dog anywhere to put it to sleep. If you do it the other way around, you get seen. As soon as you shoot the dog, the guard can see you for some reason, but that's just one of them things. We're making our way to the lab now, and then I'm gonna turn into Raiden for the next half of the game or so. Sometimes this shot will line up for an instant headshot. Yeah. Oh crap! If you miss that guard at all, he turns around and sees you, so you just have to be careful when you're taking him out. It's better to be safe. So we're going to use the scientist costume for the lab. There is a runner called Raju who developed a very tricky strategy to be able to do the lab without going into the scientist costume. I'm putting the mask on here because I have to take the brown face paint off now, otherwise the scientist costume won't work. And I have to put this mask on later, so I may as well just wear it for the rest of the game. So it's not just because it's funny, which it is, looking like Raiden, but it just saves you a menu later too. The scientists will recognize you in the scientist costume, but the guards won't. So in this next room, there's both. So neither thing will work. I can't just go in the box. I can't just be in the scientist costume. But someone found that if you just run into the scientist, it resets his AI. Oh crap, I'm gonna get seen here. It might be okay. Doors, worst enemy. They don't see you from the back either. If you're facing away from them, the costume works as well. So even though I missed that door, it was still safe. On the way out is a little bit more tricky because I can't just run into the scientist and run out like I did before. That won't work. But I can go past this guard and then into the box. And that's good enough to get past them. But if you're too far in the middle of the room or anything like that, you will get seen. So just as my stamina hits the halfway point, as I leave here, I put the animal's camo on. So it's just weird how that works out perfectly with your stamina, so you don't get any sway.
Really walks with a purpose.
Yeah. I think he looks super suspicious just by the way he walks. Like, you can't trust this guy. And I like how the guards took absolutely no time to learn who the scientists are they're working with. Like, but the scientists obviously do. So yeah, animals camo. It doesn't just look cool. It's also helping us not have sway on our aim. Obviously, we can eat food as well to regain our stamina, but that's slower, so it's just easier to wear this. Plus, it just happens to be decent camouflage as well. It's kind of lucky how that works out. Here, I'm going to try and do a quick headshot, but it's a little bit of an awkward one. The auto aim doesn't seem to lock on as well. If you roll too close to the fence, you can go into first-person view, and you won't get electrocuted moving your aim in first-person view. But I would probably die to the electric fence on my health here. This next boss is the Fear. Most people have seen like the rope trap way of killing him. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use the Patriot, but I'm also going to manipulate which tree he lands on, hopefully. I'm going to get him to land on the closest one to me. So he should go to the one just on the right there. That's the fastest for him to land. I have to wait for him to walk forward before I revive.
He wasn't dead after all.
And I also have to cure here because he put poison on me. And for some reason, if you don't take the arrow out of your thigh, the end doesn't spawn in the correct position. He's impossible to loot. Don't know why that exists. It just does. It's a weird game. It's full of little things like that. So just like the first time we came through the warehouse, we're now going to go back through it, and it's just going to have a quick lie down. It's even harder the second time. There's a few different strategies. The one I use is used by the world record holder, Hikari. He's a Japanese runner. He no longer plays the game, but he's just like so phenomenally better than anyone who's ever played this game. But he came up with this clever little strat. So I'm going to knock here.
What's that?
And then cigar gas spray that guard. if you're too slow or too fast on any part of that, you get seen. So it's a really challenging little room.
Nice.
So we're coming up to the end. Hopefully no one watched my run last time because I said this last time. So it's not the end of the game. It's a boss called the end. There's also a boss called the boss, but that's not this boss. That boss is at the end of the game. It's true though, right? I don't even know how to describe what we do on this room. It's a absolute nightmare. Just weirdly manipulating these guards. First, I've got to roll at this guard at a very specific angle, so when he falls down, he falls behind the tree. Otherwise, he'll spot me. Good. And then I've got to shoot the wall very specifically. Oh, too fast. So it's a really awkward little room. There's just tons of moving parts. I think I shot a little bit early there, so I'm going to try going a little bit later. It's weird how you do a room 1,000 times and then all of a sudden you're at a marathon and you're like, wait, how do I do this room?
Yeah, it's just so precise.
And then I've got to hold the grenade to silence my footsteps, otherwise they'll see me. And then I'm going to use a trick that I got off plywood. I don't know if he invented this, but I definitely showed it me. But if you bump into a guard with the box on, you'll be at perfect range to cigar gas spray him. It's a really clever little trick. It can be quite finicky otherwise. Now, most people use the smoke grenade to avoid the end shots. Because you spawn basically in front of him, he can see you straight away. And people throw a smoke grenade so to avoid your shots. But I don't pick up the smoke grenades at all. So I have to rely on a very specific line I came up with, which always avoids his shots. And I say always, hopefully it also is always today. So that's one avoided. If he hits us, I have to load a save, so it's really bad times. Because if the end hits you with takes your stamina down to 0, the fight doesn't end. He takes you back to prison, which is miles away, and you have to walk all the way back here again. So it really is a run killer. Similarly with the loop. So I'm using the grenade camo again. Normally to loop him, you only get 3 stun grenades on European Extreme, so you have to use a mixture of stun grenades and smokes to loop the end. But on New Game Plus, you can use the grenade camo to avoid that, and then you don't have to pick up smokes, you don't have to pick up anything else. So it's not that it's faster, it's just different, but gets the same results. Or it could even be faster, but we're talking about like 2-3 seconds here. To get behind the end, you have to hold your grenade, otherwise he'll hear you come in, so I do it at this tree here. And now I'm going to shut up, otherwise I'll mess this up.
Oh! Freeze. You. Oh!
Good. Good. It's not easy at all, and when you're resetting him on the ground and you're throwing the grenade, you can easily just miss him. And if you miss resetting him, then the fight's over. You have to kill yourself and try to loop again. So I'm really glad I got it first time there. It's not easy at all.
They look very brutal though, just like gassing an old man. It's very
yeah, it's kind
disturbing.
of he waited all his life for like the fight of a lifetime, and then you come in with your cigar gas spray breathing on him. Not quite the fight he was hoping for, but we could have turned the game off and you know, set the clock forward 2 weeks as well and killed him that way.
It's a fun little Easter egg. If you wait long enough, he just dies of old age.
Yeah, if you make a save in that area as well, paramedic says to you, I don't think you should save here. And he's like, why? And he's like, oh, I just don't think it's a good idea, and it's because of that. It is a fun little Easter egg. If you guys want to go, I've got a 2-minute ladder here.
Ladder boss.
Fantastic, nothing like a ladder boss. Yep, well, we've got plenty of donations here. Please keep them coming in, folks. We're doing really, really well so far. We've received 2 $5 anonymous donations without any comment, so thank you very much indeed for those. We've received a $5 donation from Mika, who says, I wish everyone at UKSG and in chat a wonderful day. Good luck on the runs. Well, thank you very much. We wish you a wonderful day as well. And for now, we've also got another $5 from Mockingjay, who says, good luck. I'm with you in spirit, even though I couldn't be there in person. Well, thank you very much indeed for your generous contribution.
So I always say, it isn't the hardest boss in the game, but it is the tallest. I'm full of terrible jokes. I've got more. Don't worry.
Now, it seems to be a thing at GDQ that this song, it's a donation incentive to have this song sung by somebody.
Yeah, so sue me. Yeah, it was really good. Stayed up to watch that. Obviously, Raiju, who runs this, is very much my rival in this game. I'd say he's definitely the better player at the moment, but only for now. So Raiju, if you're watching, I'll beat you soon.
And it's not a donation incentive to sing this song because I cannot sing. That would be terrible.
So we're doing a relay race within the Metal Gear community soon, and the guy I'm racing MGS3 normal, he was saying, whoever's first to the ladder, whoever's second to the ladder has to sing Snake Eater. Like, are you trying to destroy my credibility? I'm not singing Snake Eater. So Jack, no. It's a good little break. It's a good little break because thanks guys. Thank you.
Great ladder boss.
Yeah. I got him with the infinite. Mountain 1, 2, and 3. The next 3 screens are so difficult. The second one not so much. This first one's a nightmare. Again, there's tons of moving parts. I need to sneak past one guard while distracting the guard up in the top right and staying too far away from the guard on the left so he doesn't see me. I might have been too early. No, I'm fine. Oh, and the scorpion on the floor as well. He can poison you, so it's bad times.
With Snake's stomach rumbling.
Yeah, it kind of goes in line with the Snake Eater song as well when you're climbing the ladder. There's a guard in a really awkward place, but fortunately if you just hold square, it'll automatically headshot him. Otherwise that guard would be a complete nightmare, so it's really good that. Mountain 2 is just precise. It's not like the most difficult room, but it's just really, really precise. And then Mountain 3 is a nightmare. Oh no, I might get seen here. Should be okay. Yeah, I'm okay. Rolled a little bit too early. A weird thing with my capture card at home is it normally goes out of sync by the end, so I'm used to playing with the audio like slightly out of sync. So it's so weird for everything to be making the correct sound on time. Obviously UKSG got proper tech, unlike my setup at home. Best guard of the month. I literally walked around a rock to avoid him. Just his imagination. So I'm not sure if that's guard of the month or this is guard of the month, because they're both pretty strong guards. I don't like the hitbox, I didn't even touch him. This room's a nightmare. Well, I don't even know what to say about it. Like, Mountain 3, complete run killer. I'll obviously just try and show you what happens. No, he's seen me. So you have to, there's a specific spot where you have to roll into the ditch, and the guard will just look up at you, and then the room just gets more complicated from there. So that shot distracts 3 guards. I might have done it a little bit early.
This is HQ.
And then you have to be right on the edge of this little mountain bit here, otherwise that guard will see you. And you have to get to the top here before this guard comes off the radio, otherwise he'll see you. And there's a guard way off in the left that can also see you if you shoot the gun too late. So just a complete nightmare of a room. There's easier strats again. You can sit there and put them all to sleep, but obviously it takes a lot longer. And your prize for getting past that room is you get to make your way to the Fury, who's maybe the hardest boss in the game, maybe the Ocelot Unit. They're both nightmares. But fortunately, you know, we've got extra stuff for marathon safety. I'm going to use the fire camo for the Fury, which means I can't be set on fire, and I take like less fire damage. So I rarely ever use the subsistence camera, the 3D camera, but there's just this one bit where it's so much easier to use it. So you have to roll onto a ledge and you're not really supposed to be able to. And that'll let me get over the top of this guard. That's it, that's all we need from the 3D camera. Like, great addition to the game, we used it for one room. So for safety I'm going to use the Fury camo. New Game Plus exclusive, obviously. You get it for... That doesn't normally happen. You get it for a non-lethal victory against the Fury, and for this I'm going to use lethal. I'm going to use the Patriot for him. Just because it's easier to lock onto him, then he's just generally a nightmare. Nightmare of a boss. I'll have to listen out for what side he lands on now.
Damn! Eat flame! Quit fooling around! You're cool.
So I shouldn't be able to hit him there, but the fire kept damaging me slightly, so he couldn't, like... I don't know why the lock-on's not. There we go. What a nightmare of a boss. But the fire was damaging me slightly, which was giving me invincibility frames for a few seconds, so he kept trying to hit me with his blast, but he couldn't damage me, so if he doesn't damage me, he'll just keep doing it continuously. So I was sort of trapped for like a few seconds there.
Found it funny that you were going in with a box, like the box just suddenly wasn't flammable.
Yeah. It's not actually, when it's just like a thing that I'm used to doing, because if you wear normal camouflage which can catch fire, if you're in the box when you get hit, you don't catch fire. So I don't know how that works, that's how it works.
Kojima logic.
Yeah. But it's actually crazy useful because fire, I mean, even on the easiest difficulty, fire will kill you so quickly. The fire damage just isn't tuned at all. During a section later in the game, you can catch fire as well, and it's the easiest way to lose your run, right at the end of the game. Another way to put out fire is to change camo while you're on fire. It will immediately put it out. This might be Guard of the Month. If the guard is going for a downed enemy, he'll see Snake, but he won't see Snake in the box, which is really useful. So I'm going to go into this lab as stealthy as possible. Fire the gun and then switch to the scientist uniform, which will... I have to get Rykov, right? So I have to put him into a position where I can easily get him. And the easiest way to do that is to get a caution as early as possible. And Rykov will come to this door here. Oh no, that shouldn't happen. I'm probably going to get seen here, because as soon as that radio call ends, the guards will begin running into the room, and I was a little bit late taking out Rykov, so yeah, I thought I would get an alert there. For some reason my cigar gas spray just didn't hit him even though I was right next to him, so I'll go into first person view this time to avoid that.
Yeah, the movement in this game, especially on European Extreme, is so precise if you're going for the stealthy that you just can't be slightly off.
Yeah, it's all just moving parts working together. Like this backup call is going to bring, it's going to put Rykov here in the right position. I have to wait for him to say acknowledged, otherwise it doesn't work. this should just make it. So the 2 guards that come in, I have to get to the bottom of the room before they go past. And then they can't see me, so they might be guard of the year as well. They did catch me once actually, so they're doing okay. And then we're going to take Rykov here to steal his clothes. So like before, when I changed from the brown face paint to the mask, it's because I had to put it on here anyway. So I may as well just wear it for the whole game if I'm going to change masks anyway.
What's the tuxedo camouflage for? What do you use that for?
It's just like a swag thing because it's the tuxedo in MGS1 and Kojima likes James Bond. It's kind of based on James Bond as well.
I see.
So you can't use CQC while you're out in it. But you can use guns, so there's a run that I was talking about before, Hikari. He's done like a full European extreme run only using the tuxedo. You can find that on YouTube. It's really, really good. Guys, if you've got anything, now's like awesome. Oh, you don't want to roll there normally. If you want to go, this is a great time.
Yes, we've got something for you just now. Just bear with us, sorry. We have $20 from Popita, who just says, toss a coin. Thank you very much indeed. We've also received another $20 from Jackal2419, who says, good luck for all the runners and thank you to the organisers. Well, thank you very much indeed for your donation. And one more for just now. We have also received $5 from Matt Harris. Good luck, UKSG. Hope you have a fantastic event. Well, thank you very much indeed, Matt. Thank you for your generous donation.
He doesn't know what
Yeah, this is a scene, so I'm good for as long as you want.
You'd better start talking.
If anyone wants to find a way to skip this, give it to me before all the other
Khrushchev's
runners.
lapdog?
How can you do this to him?
I know you gave the data to someone.
Never do
You!
So this is Sokolov just being tortured by Volgin, who's the main bad guy of the game.
Arguably all the more brutal because you can't see what's going on.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, especially for its time, it's pretty scary, I think. It's and the cutscenes that follow after, obviously, is quite gruesome. You can also hold the menus here and you won't take damage. So for Foxhound rank, you have to take below a certain amount of damage. That's one of the ways you can reduce your damage taken.
I hope you prove more entertaining than he was. But first, let's take a look at your body, shall we? What a beautiful body you have. Like a newborn baby.
Very creepy.
Yeah, super, super, super scary bad guy. One of my favorites in Metal Gear is Volgin.
Well then.
I mean, I'm a
let's get
personal
started.
proponent of Metal Gear Solid 5, the Phantom
What is your
Pain, but
target?
Skullface is kind of a weak.
Is it the
bad, really.
Shagohod?
He's not given much personality.
Or Sokolov?
Metal Gear Solid, I've never heard of
maybe
that.
it's
Is
the
that
legacy.
new?
Answer
Sorry, I
me.
only lived in the past.
Who is helping you? Who
No,
let
I
you
have been
in
meaning
here?
to give it a go. There's some guys in the community who do anthology speedruns, so they do 1, 2, 3,
You're
4,
a
5.
tough one.
I'd love to give
Even
that a
you
go at some
must
point.
have
in
your
the future.
limits. And I am a patient man.
Alright, so the unskippable cutscene is all over. This is one of my favorite parts of the game. And you'll see why. I need to escape a cell. So I need to pick up this fork and stand here. So I'm going to take out a tracker and a fake death pill, and then I'm just going to spin Snake around. So I'm counting the number of spins as well. It's really important.
When we've got a second, can we have another couple of donations?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, it's just to go over those donations again. We've already had these ones, but just to make sure that everybody heard them. We had $20 from Popita, so thank you for that, saying toss a coin. Jackal2419 gave us $20. Good luck for all the runners and thank you for the organisers. And again, thank you for your donation. And finally, Matt Harris gave us $5. Good luck, UKSG. Hope you have a fantastic event. Well, thank you very much indeed, Matt.
So I have to put that guard to sleep there because I really need these noodles. Noodles are drastically important. So I can just immediately throw them away. And hopefully, if it works right,
What's that sound?
for some reason, these guards won't see me. I don't know why it works, I'm just really glad it does. Because that room would be a nightmare otherwise. But it's just funny how exactly the right stuff came off the guard. Like, they can't have known that's what you know, people were going to do to get past that room. There's absolutely no way they could have thought of that. Like, it can't have been the intended strategy. But it's just interesting that that just happens to come off that guard. This room's a nightmare because if you don't throw your stun grenade exactly correct, if you don't throw your grenade exactly correct, you're gonna get seen. So we'll just have to hope for the best. Maybe. It's a big maybe. I'm gonna throw this at that dog there.
So mean to the doggo.
Yeah. I put one to sleep before with a trank as well. It's not animal friendly, but it is much better than MGS2 where I was shooting the pigeons. So, plus, to be fair, the dog would do worse to me if it got hold of me.
True.
Oh, I forgot to smoke the cigar. I wonder if... Yeah, I'll do it anyway. I'll see if it works. You need to smoke the cigar to drain your health to a certain amount so you can kill yourself with grenades. That's the second life med to pick up, so we've got 2 now. So that's just like extra security for the late game. Continues in the late game are really costly because they're such long auto-scroller sections. So now I'm just draining my health as much as possible, so when I get to the Sorrow I can immediately kill myself. Fortunately on European Extreme you can equip the cigar much later because grenades do more damage and you have less health, so hopefully it works out. It might take 2. If it takes 2, it takes 2.
Have I understood correctly, because my familiarity with Metal Gear Solid 3 is not super high, that for a long time people didn't realise that you actually had to kill yourself to get past the Sorrow? It's not like very well telegraphed.
Yeah, I think it's not going to be obvious, but you can walk to the end, which takes obviously super long. But you can actually just walk to the end. So a lot of people have done the fight that way. Then obviously there's the whole problem of if you press continue, it starts the fight again. So yeah. It's just the game's full of just little cool things like that. It's one of the reasons I like it so much. So you do get your equipment here. Not a lot of people know that. And hopefully this kills me first time. Yeah, brilliant. Otherwise I'd have to stand up and throw another grenade, so it's a little slower. So when we took the fake death pill out earlier, we also took a tracker out. If you leave it in, you have an Ocelot unit here, which is really bad. Like, they're in such a way that they're very difficult to get past, and plus you don't have any of your equipment. It's just a real nightmare. So it's important to take that out, even casually. And again, it's not obvious. The game doesn't tell you to do that. It's just you learn by playing. It's kind of sad though, this is definitely one of the nicest looking areas in the game, and it's barely used. So this behind the waterfall is the longest load in the game. It's about 30 seconds. I have an SSD in this, so it's still slow. If you guys want to go, yeah.
Yes, no problem at all. We have received a donation here. We have received $5 from Platonic Guy, who just says, heart. Well, thank you very much indeed.
Heart to you too, Platonic Guy. So yeah, that was like, what, approximately 5 years. Sorry. Sorry. Taking over for the host.
No, no problem at all. No, that's fine. Well, while we're working our way through here, then we would like to thank you for watching the United Kingdom Speedrunner Gathering. We have a 2-day speedrunning marathon held 4 times a year, and we are coming to you live today from Glasgow, Scotland. We are raising money to support Young Minds, which is a charity leading the fight for a future where all young minds are supported and empowered, whatever the challenge is. Your donations help them to make sure young people get the best possible mental health support and have the resilience to overcome life's difficulties. Remember, all of your donations go towards supporting Young Minds. We've currently raised $240 towards that amazing cause. We're doing really, really well. We've also received another $5 donation here, if we've got time for it.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. We have... Okay, this is an interesting one for you. We have $5 from Pythonicus,
Yeah, Python.
who says, "Look, Apache, if you say things like you're going to run Anthology, I expect to see it. Either way, MGSR sends its regards, and good luck on the back half of the, bike chase. At least MGSV doesn't have a bike chase that lasts half the speed run." Thank you very much indeed, Pythonicus, for that donation.
Is that a 4 reference? Is it 4 that has the big bike?
Act 3 of 4 is it?
Yeah.
And then this obviously has the bike chase that takes half the speed run as well. Kojima loves a good bike chase. But yeah, I'll run Anthology as soon as they make Metal Gear Solid 4 good.
Wow. Controversy.
Oh no, that has never actually happened before.
If it's going to happen for the first time, it's going to happen in a marathon.
Yeah, I probably deserve that for what I said about Metal Gear Solid 4. I'm sorry, Kojima. No, I just ran too far forward before I shot that. For some reason, if you shoot the gas tanks with a non-lethal round, the guards just run off into a place where they're no good to anyone. And I'm just glad it exists. I don't know why it happens, it just does. Otherwise this room would be a nightmare. So again, the mechanics like the scientists, if you're in the box, they don't go into an alert. Guards, obviously, if they do see you, they will alert. You can get a mechanic outfit, but it's a bit out of the way, and we just don't need to use it in this room. But you can dress as the mechanic. So, Volgin, the boss with 1,000 backups. There is a fast way to do him that I'm going to attempt, but it's dead easy to run out of bullets, so I'm just going to try my best with this one.
What the?
Nope. So we're in backup territory now. I just shot too fast, basically.
Let's see you dodge this one.
Don't want to get hit by that.
That must have hurt.
So I'm probably going to have to get the Patriot out here. But I'm going to try and get him as low as possible first. I'm going to go into backup now and get the unlimited ammo machine gun. But it's still quite a slow way to kill him. The SVD is just so much faster. Come on, one more bullet and then he's dead. I might die here. So I've lost my life meds, which is really not ideal. So during the bike chase, I'm just going to have to be really careful and kill the guards as fast as possible. During this first section of the bike chase, nothing's really too difficult. But if you there's RPG guards, right? And if they hit you, they pretty much immediately kill you. But before they do that, they introduce as much lag as possible. If you turn my game audio slightly down if possible. It's just like super loud portion of the game.
There they are! They're over here!
that fence is just going to magically break. HD exclusive. So I'm just trying to do as much damage to the Shagglehide as possible because it's going to help me out later. But I don't want to damage myself because I've got no life med, I've got no backup, like... It's just a bit more dangerous. So I roughly know where all the guards are going to be, so I can minimize damage as much as possible. And any problems I can just like... There's also a camo called the Camo, which reduces damage taken. And if it looks like I need to use that, then I'll use that. But it's using quick reloading here as well. Like, if you turn a weapon on and off, it will reload its ammo to full. Looking down here, like this is a really laggy part, and if you look down, it saves you time. Especially when he knocks this tank over, it drops to like 5 frames. I just played it really safe so I don't accidentally damage myself with splash damage.
Do we have time to quickly go over some bid wars and
Absolutely.
incentives? Okie dokie. Well, remember that when you're donating, if you choose to donate to UKSG Winter, we're supporting young minds, but you can also choose various goals and bid wars. And our big one for this marathon is our address to the haggis. If we reach $300, we've currently got 20. We need 300 to have our very own Argic performing the address to the haggis. That is something that we cannot miss. We absolutely have to see that. So please, 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 if you don't know what a haggis is, well, it's something special.
It's live.
It really is something special. The other one we have at the moment, you have the choice of choosing the language in the upcoming Forward to the Sky run. You do have a few options here. You can choose from Korean, which is currently in the lead with $10. You've got $5 on English, $5 on German, and then we have the following options that still don't have any donations assigned to them just now. We have Japanese, simplified Chinese, Spanish, and traditional Chinese. So if any of those take your fancy, please feel free to put your donations towards those. Thank you very much indeed.
So that portion, there's just like one guard who has an RPG, and RPG will just kill you instantly. There's another couple of guards later who have them as well. I just have to be extra careful to avoid that. And I've still managed to take quite a lot of damage despite killing the guards quite quickly, I think. So I'll just be on edge for the rest of the run. It's fine. Just don't die to Volgin, right? Don't lose health to Volgin. Again, it's not me killing them with the RPG, it's all road accident. So during this section, like if you look down, you actually save time because you reduce lag. You can't do it on European Extreme because obviously you'll get killed by the guards if you just look down the whole time. But it really is like GoldenEye, and it's on a runway as well, so it's like a GoldenEye level.
Yeah, Max Payne 3 also ends with a firefight on a runway.
all copied from GoldenEye. So this is the last section of the runway, where you get to do damage to the Shagglehide again. If you shoot him in his treads, you can't damage him for a little bit. And if you shoot him in other spots, then he'll just go to the back and he'll drive away from you. You have to keep hitting him, otherwise he'll start firing missiles and machine guns and stuff at you. It's just not good. So I'm going to try and do as much damage to him here as possible, but So every time I hit him, I'm doing a tiny little bit of chip damage. There is a threshold, it's around 2/3 that you can't damage him anymore, but in European Extreme it's very difficult to get to that threshold anyway. If I can get like 2 like RPGs worth of damage on him for the fight, it makes it a little bit better. But sometimes he does that and then he goes all the way to the back. You have to be careful because if you're not hitting him, he'll just start firing his machine gun and things like that at you. So every time he's doing a voice line, I know that he's not going to shoot his guns at me, basically. So before I unequip the SVD, and I found that if you do that, it'll put it back into your inventory now and in a better place. So we need it for the rail bridge, and then we need it for the fight afterwards. And it's just in a better place in your menu, which saves a tiny bit of time. It's really useful. Found it by accident. I took the SVD out of my inventory. Just complete misclick. Like. No Call of Duty teams are going to be picking me up anytime soon.
Nice.
The no scope. Yeah, so wherever you're aiming, it'll shoot. Wherever you're aiming when you come out of the zoom. This whole boss is just a gamble on whether Eva's going to drive the correct way, because you'll shoot his tread and then sometimes she'll drive in the complete opposite direction. It's also knowing when his invincibility frames are going to wear off. So that's okay. She's driving the correct way and he's stationary, so you just shooting the treads and then getting his back, basically. So I have to wait for him to fully reset before I shoot the treads again. It's like now he's turning at the same speed that I'm turning, so I can't get his back. It's a weird fight. It's a weird fight. I still don't think we understand it fully. I've seen pretty much every runner have trouble with it. If you shoot him just correctly, you can sometimes hit the back like that, but it's difficult to do consistently. So yeah, if I'd hit him twice more with the RPG during the runway section, he'd be dead now. But it's just unfortunate. It happens, right? And then we get the final fight with Volgin, and the SVD is in a much better place in our inventory now. So it's just like, just there. So we can kind of loop him here. It's a little bit awkward. I missed him there. I shot him in the body, which doesn't do as much damage as the head. Yeah, I got him. So that was decent. I kept him in a loop, and that fight can get really out of hand if you let him sort of get away from that starting position. So I'm kind of at risk of death here. So I really can't let any of these guards shoot me, and I definitely can't get hit by the RPG. If I get hit by the RPG, I'm not dead, but I am in serious trouble. So hopefully my audition for some Call of Duty teams will go well now. If they see me no scoping during this section, they might be like wanting to pick me up. So they spawn each time. They have like little sections like this where they spawn, but if there's still like 4 guards if there's like 3 bags chasing you, none of them will spawn because they can only have a certain amount on screen at one time. So a safety method is you can just like shoot the gunner and then just let the drivers follow you, and then no more bags will spawn, so it's a little bit safer. But because I killed them all, they've spawned again here. But I'm confident enough with using lethal strats that I can take them out fast enough before they can really damage me. I say as I miss an entire clip of rounds. But yeah, this next section, the ambush section, it's the bit just after that. There's an RPG guard. And I think it does like 2/3 of your health, but it also introduces like so much lag that you'll lose about 20 seconds. So getting hit getting hit with an RPG is just the worst thing that can happen. So the RPG guard's here. He's on the back of the truck. Fortunately, I got him. It's nightmare if you don't. If you want to go on.
Yes, we'd just like to remind everybody you are watching KSG Winter 2020, raising money for young minds. Also like to remind you that coming up very shortly after the end of this run is the Forward to the Sky run, and you've not got an awful lot of time left now to choose your language on that. We still currently have $10 on Korean leading the way, and $5 for English,
Am I on
and
fire?
$5 for German.
The absolute worst thing that can happen. I just noticed I was losing all my health, and I was like, am I on fire? So it's really rare. So it's about right that it'll happen in a marathon. I could easily die now because I'm just on so little health. And these guards, they kind of like, they get into positions where they can't be hit, and they do an obscene amount of damage. So if I survive this area, it'll just be lucky. Yeah, I think there is a good chance I'll die here. There's like a certain amount of damage you're going to take no matter what, right? Like, you know, the guards spawn so quickly. If you don't shoot the log there, she says you stink, which is kind of funny. But I'll also die for hitting the log, so it's just, you know, it's weighing up whether it's worth it or not. So yeah, hardest section in the game for like taking damage. Roughest section in the game, should I say. It's not that it's difficult, it's just you can get really unlucky. While these biker guards still kind of dangerous, they're just nowhere near as dangerous as those platform guards. So you're at risk of catching fire if one randomly lands on you, and also the middle platform guard can just go above you in a position where he can't be hit by you whatsoever. So, horrible section. Anyone who runs this game knows it's a nightmare. But yeah, unlimited ammo in previous games was like a reward. In this game, it's a feature. No need for the bandana. Just not taking any risks, because if I die here, it's so cursed. I have to do the whole area again. So I like how you take out hundreds and hundreds of guards, and Eva's like, wow, I did a jump. So during the cutscene there, you get into like a crash, and now you have to heal an injured Eva. But if you feed her some noodles here, you don't have to feed her later, so it's a little bit faster because you're already in the pause menu. No, I don't know what I'm doing. Forgot what I was doing. I'm not 100% if I can just wear Oz Camo in this area, so I am just going to put the tiger stripe back on, because I've never had to change to Oz Camo before, so I'd rather not risk it. have to watch my sounds now because it's going to come off after 2 shots, and I have to put it back on because there's 4 guards to take out. And it's really awkward if you fire your non-silence gun at them. They just all immediately turn and spot you. If you let Eva follow you really close here, if you let her just to her own devices and run off, she will wander round trees and take really awkward routes. But sometimes if you let her get really close, you can influence her to take the best path. But even then, she'll sometimes just ignore you and do what she wants. She's her own person. Gotta respect that. Now, unfortunately, she'll like take this ridiculous route around this tree otherwise.
She has her reasons.
Yeah. Kind of just stuck with the escort. Like, that's one of the staples of Metal Gear Solid games, is escorting someone. So this area with guards is very awkward. I'm just going to take it as safe as possible. I'll run out to about here. Have to get down here in time to get this guard before he turns. Oh no, this is really bad. See, when he gets into an alert like that and he'll turn around, he can see this whole area, so it's really easy for him to spot you and give you a game over.
How long do the guards actually stay knocked out for in European Extreme?
I've never seen them wake up, but because I'm just off. But in MGS2, when you go like back through rooms, it really does come into it. That European Extreme, they're stunned for less time. But pretty much in this game, when you go for a room, you're done with it. You never revisit it, so it never really matters. But I'm assuming it's a reduced stun timer on European Extreme compared to low difficulties. But as I say, as far as the route's concerned, it doesn't come into it. I'm going to use that to distract a guard here, and that means I can shoot him in the head more easily. There's also a guard hiding in the grass. Oh no. My aim's really bad. Yeah, we'll just say I got them all first time for... Oh no, he's coming towards me. He's going to see me. That's never happened before.
I don't understand what was happening because I saw you firing the shots and it seemed like they should have connected.
Yeah. It's just bad aim. It's just bad aim. But that's a really costly little continue there. It's not one that you want. I know they're all kind of costly, but that one especially. So it's just the room before the final boss, so. These two especially are really awkward shots.
Nice.
First time, right? I just dropped down too soon, I think. I should have just waited for that guard to go to sleep, because I'd already put one round in him as well. I just got to watch her at all times, otherwise she kind of gets a mind of her own and thinks I'll just leave. I'll just take a different route. I had one run which I completely lost because when I dropped down, she just walked off. And I've never seen it happen before to anyone else, and it's not happened to me since, but I just live in fear of it now.
I hear something.
You have to hit him in the head. If you hit him in the body, he looks up at you, basically. So you instantly get caught if you don't hit him in the head. Oh no, I dropped down. We should be fine. He's not actually looking this way, so that's a bonus. Oh, here we go.
Eva.
Nearly killed the run, but we're okay.
And note her jumping directly onto one of the guards doesn't wake him up.
That's bonus, right? I really don't want that to. I really don't want him to wake up. I'm gonna pre-equip the Mosin here. Just coming up to the last boss now, so it's in this next room. The last boss, the boss. Not the end, but it is at the end. No, that doesn't work as well, does it?
Even nobody cares that you're hungry.
No, you just ate. But to be fair, I can sympathise with eating some ramen noodles and then 20 minutes later being like, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
But given the circumstances, you think you could, hold it for a little bit. Final boss. I'm hoping that'll loop her.
Get ready.
I messed up slightly. I didn't get the last shot in. She's one hit from death.
How come a health bar's not gone down?
It's a stamina bar, so I'm using the Mosin the Gant, which is a non-lethal round. Victory. I was a little bit close for a while, so I just didn't have the life meds to sort of like have a backup. Long and skippable cutscene here if you want to go for it. Not that long, a little bit long.
Yeah, no worries at all. Okay. So we're just about finished here, I take it. We've got a little bit, how much longer we got on this one?
30 seconds, 40 seconds.
Right, okie dokie. Fantastic. Well, remember, you're watching UKSG Winter 2020, raising funds for young minds. All your donations are greatly appreciated.
Salute the boss.
Yeah, always. It's kind of like, I don't want to spoil anything, but at the end of the Goose game, when you get into Patriot in New Game Plus and he's got all these Patriots because you've completed the game so many times, it goes and puts them in his ditch.
Kill me now.
Not that I'm going to spoil the Goose game because I'm sure no one's played that.
There's only room for one boss and one snake.
Sad, right? So there's just one final duel with Ocelot on the MiG, and then as soon as I pull the trigger on him, it's time. So as soon as the last shot of this fires, it's time. When the gun goes off. That's time. Stayed underestimate. So close, so close.
Well done, Apache.
Thanks very much for having me back again. I really appreciate it. It's my fourth time here. Fourth time running Metal Gear Solid. I'll try and get it in again, I'm sure. Shout out to the Metal Gear Solid Metal Gear Speedrunner community. MetalGearSpeedrunners.com if you want to learn one of these games yourself and join the Discord. Thanks for watching. Thanks for helping me.
It's been a pleasure to be here.